Most people train hard, and I personally love to see it, but very few people train smart. And the difference between those two things is data. The athletes and executives winning at the highest level aren't just working harder, they're making better informed decisions before they train, after they train, and before they sleep. Wearable technology is how you get that information, and today I'm going to show you exactly how we use it at Perform 365. Here's a question I ask every new client. How do you decide how hard you push in a training session? Most of the time the answer is, I just go for it. And I get it. That mentality is part of what makes high performers tick. But here's the issue. Your body doesn't care about your schedule. It doesn't care that you've planned a heavy training session on Thursday. If your nervous system is fried, your sleep was broken, and your body is still fighting inflammation from the session you did 2 days ago. You pushing hard isn't building you. It's potentially breaking you. Without data, you're just guessing, and guessing costs you performance, recovery, and over time, potentially even your health. Wearables eliminate the guesswork. At Perform 365, there are 3 devices we work with consistently across our client base. Number 1 is the Ultrahuman Ring. This is the one I personally use, and I wear it 24/7. The data is solid and accurate. The one you've likely heard of is Whoop, which comes in the form of a strap. This is particularly popular with our athletes like our boxers who prefer that wrist wearable. Garmin is our go-to for in-session performance tracking with heart rate zones, GPS, VO2 max estimation, training load tracking, giving real-time feedback in the session. Each device has its strengths. Each tells a different part of the same story. Let me break down what they're actually tracking and why every single metric matters. As mentioned, the Ultrahuman Ring is the device I personally use. It's synced to an app and takes you under 30 seconds each morning to check your data. Simple to use, and I really like the interface. It's definitely assisting me in being more consciously aware of my recovery each morning. It gives you 3 main scores. Number 1 is, of course, sleep, but not just total sleep duration in hours, but quality. Ultrahuman breaks your sleep down into a number of different things. Total sleep duration, sleep efficiency, REM sleep, deep sleep, and sleep latency, which is how long it takes you to actually fall asleep. This matters because sleep is our number 1 recovery tool at Perform 365. If you're getting 7 hours, but your deep sleep is 20 minutes and your REM is poor, you're not recovering properly. You might feel okay, but your body is accumulating a debt. Score number 2 is readiness. This is the one I look at each morning with intent, as the readiness score is an assessment of your body's capacity to perform mentally, emotionally, and physically on that day. It factors in your previous night's sleep, your RHR, resting heart rate, HRV, heart rate variability, and any body temperature deviation that night. Scores run 0 to 100, and above 85 means you're primed to push that day. 70 to 84, you're good. You can absolutely train with intention. Below 70, you might want to pay a little bit of attention. Your body may be starting to tell you something. And below 60, it might be intervention time. So here's how we use this in real practice at Perform 365. If a client has a heavy, high volume, lower body session planned and their readiness score is sitting in the 50s, we may pull back. The load drops by 10 to 15% and the volume may drop by 15 to 20%. And that's not showing weakness. It's data-led intelligent programming, and it shows you that we can use the data to make better informed decisions. Score number 3 on the Ultrahuman Ring is activity. It looks at steps, calories burned, training frequency, overall training volume. And this keeps your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, chipping away, because most people dramatically underestimate how sedentary they are outside of that 1-hour gym session they do each day. So if you're training hard, but you're sitting for 10 hours a day, your overall activity profile can still be poor, and Ultrahuman will flag that. One more thing on the ring. Now, this may sound contradictory, but stick with me. We don't take these scores as gospel. We don't let a number dictate the mindset of the day. I've had a low readiness score and still gone on to have a great session because I read how I actually felt alongside the data, had a word myself, and just got on with it and executed. The objective data gives you an insight, but we merge that with subjective markers like mood, energy levels, soreness, and many others. Then you use our traffic light system to identify how hard your session is on that given day to make a decision. Now let's take a look at Whoop, which takes a slightly different approach to Ultrahuman. It's strap-based, sits on the wrist, and is built around two core concepts: strain and recovery. Whoop assigns a daily strain score from 0 to 21 based on cardiovascular load throughout the day. Every meeting, every commute, every training session is all being measured and added to your overall daily strain total. Then it cross-references that strain against recovery, determined by sleep quality, HRV, resting heart rate, and respiratory rate. The output is simple. Here's how much you push your system on this given day, and here's how well your body is bouncing back from it. The caveat: I'm not entirely convinced Whoop's training tracking is the most accurate after analyzing a number of my athletes' data. Let's talk about what actually happens inside the training session. This is where Garmin earns its place, and I know my head of operations is a massive Garmin fan given the amount of specific Ironman and endurance training he does. When we're running our cardiac output sessions, that's your zone 2 work with a heart rate anywhere between 130 and 150 beats per minute for around 40 to 90 minutes. Garmin gives us real-time feedback that you're in the right zone. No guessing or using RPE, rate of perceived exertion, but knowing exactly where you need to be to drive the desired physiological response. Because the biggest mistake people make with zone 2 training is drifting too high. They push that little bit harder because they feel great, and their heart rate begins to creep up, and their physiological outcome they're chasing doesn't happen. Beyond zone 2, Garmin tracks heart rate zones across the entire session, so you can see exactly where the athlete spent their time and what the cardiovascular demand actually was. Another benefit is training load and recovery time, so how long your body needs post-session before it's ready to perform again at full capacity. It does have a VO2 max estimation. Now, this is not lab accurate, but it can be good for tracking and seeing how your training is actually impacting your physiology. It also looks at resting heart rate trends over a longer period of time, one of the most reliable indicators of improving fitness. As your aerobic base grows, your resting heart rate goes the other way, it drops. And Garmin tracks all of these. Now I'll show you where it all comes together. This is the system we use at Perform 365. Before a client's session, we check their readiness and sleep score from the previous night on our performance dashboard. During the session, we use heart rate monitor data to ensure the right training zones are hit and the intensity is appropriate for that individual on that given day. After the session, we log total training load, session quality rating, and RPE, rate of perceived exertion, against their objective data. And over time, the picture that builds is a game changer for overall performance. We can see when a client is carrying accumulated fatigue before they even feel it themselves. We can see if someone's resting heart rate has begun to creep up, which is a classic sign of overtraining or inadequate recovery. We can also see if sleep scores are consistently poor on nights before a heavy training session, and then we can adjust that session accordingly. Now you can see this isn't tracking data for data's sake. This is information that directly changes what we prescribe, how we load our athletes and our clients, and how we best mitigate injuries and burnout that can impact progress. The program adapts to the individual, not the other way around. And you may be thinking, well, I'm not a professional athlete. Do I really need this? With my 20 years experience in the performance space, you may need it more than you think. Professional athletes have coaches, physios, support staff watching their data every single day. They have a team making decisions around their recovery. You likely don't, and a wearable can be seen as your own performance team. It's working while you sleep, it's reporting back every morning. It's giving you intel to make smarter decisions about your own body and health. And don't worry, you don't have to spend a fortune. The Ultrahuman Ring, Whoop, or Garmin, they're entry points across different budgets. The key is picking one and actually using it consistently to build a performance picture. Because 1 week of data can tell you something, but 12 weeks of data can change how you operate on a day-to-day basis. And it's not about obsessing over the numbers. It's about building self-awareness around your own performance and recovery at a level that most people never reach. At Perform 365, we want to educate our clients. We want you making better informed decisions about your health and performance long after you finish working with us. Wearable technology is one of the most powerful tools we've added to that education piece. Because the people who are winning in sport, in business, in life in general, they're not leaving this stuff to chance. They know their numbers, they act on them, and they stay ahead. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I look forward to seeing you on the next high performance video.